Fuck, look at that thing gap. Man, there's an army of fucking hootie patooties pumping these things these days. Morning, everybody. ¿Cómo está usted? What's up, chollos? Good morning. Cool. Hey, we got a little bit of a flat open on the market today, which is good. We had actually a pretty good push off the opening weakness yesterday. Even though we've been kind of like meandering around, we're starting to get a little bit of like, I wouldn't say rollover, but the ascent, the velocity of the market has definitely slowed down. But there are a lot of individual stocks still setting up here. And frankly, there is, pockets in the market where the pump is on and the pump is real. So I think the play while the indexes digest and marinate is to go in and look at the sectors that are starting to push, look at the type of stocks that are starting to push, and really focus on that, because the market is just tired right now. Frankly, with the coronavirus back in play, my good people of Florida out here, right? I'm over here in Florida, and people are just making out and giving each other hand jobs in public, not social distancing, and things are getting loose around here. But you know what? You can't hate. If you're on vacation, you're going to get drunk, and you're going to dance funky and close, and you're going to make some bad decisions. And there are probably going to be some pregnancies, and that's just the way it goes. So I don't know if it's good or bad, but this virus is cutting loose again. And so you're starting to see a little bit of deterioration in the tape in the general indexes. But if you really think about it, like this thing is run amok again, and the market's actually holding up pretty well. And that's actually a good sign, at least for if you're a bull, with all of it going on, and that virus coming back, this market's been still holding up fairly well. We're still sitting on some multiple levels of support. So let's look at like the daily charts here. This is the S&P 500. This is the SPY. You're still holding out over its 200 SMA, and you've got a big price support here in this like 298, which is like your 50-day moving average, and your 200. You've got like a big kind of zone of demand, I would put it, where you've got so much support and demand holding up the market that even though we've been like chopping around for a better part of a month now, there has been some good action in the market. There's been some good range. But if you're like just trading like general indices, like say you were doing futures or you were trading, ETFs, you wouldn't really be seeing that hot action that you would. So, there's pockets of stuff that's going on, but it's not in the general indexes or, in like some of those like kind of major cap stocks that you normally want to trade. In this type of market where the frothiness is coming in, what's essentially happening is, there's pockets of, strength. So right now it's like these SPACs, these special acquisition groups, these are like really the kind of the flavor of the week or flavor of the month. SPACs are just essentially like just shortcuts to doing IPOs, essentially, where companies can do an IPO without doing an IPO. They're just shell companies, that buy up like other companies. It's the hot play right now. And so I would put all of these on your list for day trades. This shill is definitely long in the tooth. So I would probably, like just leave that alone. Oh, what the frig, Johnny? Why didn't you tell me that? Hey guys, you should be telling me these things before the fact. All right. So yeah, this one's a little bit long in the tooth, but I think there's a couple other ones that are like starting to set up here. This FMCI, frankly, this one is going to be doing like some vegan meats merger. This will be a SPAC too. If it can come out of this range at some point, like this one will probably get picked up. You're starting to see there was one that came out yesterday called LCA, and man, LCA was acting like really just like a big sloppy turd the whole day. And then, lo and behold, this is what they do, right? It's like it just acts like crap all day, and then boom, just gaps up. You know, the best thing to do on those days these SPACs open is like when they really dip down, as soon as they hold, you just add it, because like I've seen them gap the next day like pretty much every time. That way you're not like stuck grinding your balls day trading while it's like moving up like 2 pennies here or there. That's going to be, you know, that's usually the play, but you're starting to see a bunch of these like start to like really kind of push here. Yeah, I've been watching this workhorse forever. It's probably getting closer to a short than a long at this point. Its market cap is still fairly low, but we're getting into that sweet spot where the collapse is probably coming. You know, you're $6 away from your 9 EMA, so I do think once you give kind of fit 2 thumbs between where the price of the stock is and your 9 EMA, you're getting a little bit long in the tooth. And I do believe this one's gotta come out. This one's gonna have to come down. Let it speed up though. You know what it likes to do is kind of fade into the close. So let it speed up, and then we'll catch the rollover on this one. Now let's just talk about like some good-looking stocks that frankly are just ready to go. I think for kind of like some multi-day holds and also day trades. You know, man, did anybody short FSLY yesterday? What a salute. All right, so we'll go from order of importance, I think. All right, order of importance. This JNUG has been testing the top of its trendline resistance here now for like 2 months. It's been really ready to just kind of bust loose. We're like really in a sweet spot where this thing can go like any day. It's gonna go bajonkers. You'll probably see it once it finally breaks here. You see 116, 120 like relatively quickly. If you look at the overall, right? If you look at the overall chart of gold here, you had a multi-month breakout. You know, when you have like anytime you have a stock, ETF, some type of commodity, and it's been in a trend, and then you have a multi-month digestion, you know, that allows, you know, that name to build up power. It allows it to build up steam. So as you start to consolidate over that, it's building up some energy so that it can take another run. So when this thing starts to bust, when gold starts to bust, then we'll JNUG this thing to the bank. It's a lifestyle, it's a movement, but this is going to be a good looking name for us. I think today, and even on days that, you know, JNUG like acts like crap, it's been very tradable both ways. So we'll be able to get that thing going. What are you guys all watching? This GAN looks hot here, guys. So GAN is an IPO stock that's had just an awesome trend. So it's a $11 stock. It went on this epic run to 27. Now what you can see here, since June 1st, you've been consolidating and just marinating. It's been just a giant marination station since June 1st, where it's been testing this 27 spot, right? It's been testing this 27 zone. You got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. To get a powerful breakout, you need 3 tests or more to get going. We're in the right type of market. I think that this one's got a chance. It's in the right sector too. IPOs have been hot all year. If you look at, right, what have been the hottest stocks of like the last 90 days? It's like and you should do this every Sunday, right? If you do a filter for like what are the hottest stocks of the last 30 days, 90 days, you know, so on and so forth. I usually go 90 days. You know, what you'll start to see is, you know, all of these stocks, like they'll have something in common. They're like newer issues. You know, they're newer issues. So that's been the play for the year. So in terms of when you get something that's starting to show up, you know, a trend, right? So it's like IPOs have been hot. If you think about like what else has been hot this year, that IPO, right? This FSLY, you know, same type of deal. So IPOs have been the tour du jour of the year. So this GAN is setting up for a breakout. We're in the right sector, like this kind of gambling, gaming thing has been working, like DraftKings, right? DraftKings was on an epic run. Now you got a nice breakout setting up at 27. I really like this name. Frankly, to me, it looks like a swing trade. I think the swing trade entry was probably yesterday, that 24, 25 range. If it dips back down here at the open, frankly, you may be able to swing this for a multi-day hold. It is a little bit of a trickster to day trade. I'll tell you why. Anybody know why it's a trickster day trade? Spread. The spread on this is Ganar. It really is. Like it's Ganar, and the spread on it makes it really, really tricky. Like I was trading this thing yesterday, and the spread on it at times was like 15, 20 cents. So, that one is tough because 15, 20 cents, so you buy like 2,000 shares, you lose like $400 if you buy on the ass. So that's something, where you got to be just like really careful of, the spread on a stock can get you. It's like, it's like you're going out to the bar and, you're like talking to this hot girl. She's sitting next to you, so you only just see her from the side. And you're like having some drinks, and you're like, man, she's looking hot, man. She's even talking to me, and I'm like this bald Indian guy. Like, how could this? And it's like this hot girl, and then she turns around, and she's got like a big gap in her teeth, right? You got the spread. Same thing on this. This GAN's got the spread. So it's hot. But you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Good. So add that to the list. GSX, this is another one. So what do you have here? You got a high tight flag. You got a stock that was at 30, went to 60. So it's up 100%. And now it's been marinating for the last like 10 days. All right, it's been marinating for the last 10 days. You got your 9 EMA curling up under the kitchen on it. These educational companies, by the way, like in this type of market, like what's hot, right? Stay-at-home stuff, online education, all that kind of stuff. I mean, what's better than online education? Like where you just turn your computer on, take a nap, you come back, and you got a degree, right? That's like the dream. Like I can only imagine. I wish I got to go to school like this. So this thing is at $60. I think that you're going to have a chance on this one. This one also has a little bit of a spread, so you just got to be careful on this thing. But it's getting going. Next one, Billy. Man, Billy actually spikes really well, too. Like, the intraday range on this was pretty good yesterday. If you see here, it's like 43 to 46. Fucking sell. 43 to 46. You got yourself a nice kind of marination station here, too. This setup has been working pretty well where, like, you have a trender, and then you get a really tight consolidation above the 9 EMA. You start to really just, like, tighten up around there. I think when you see that, you're going to have, like, a multi-day run. I think on Billy, and this happens a lot on Chinese stocks, like, see this kind of weakness? It works well on this one. It's like where, like, it'll spike down at the open, it'll round, and it'll just rip back. I like that kind of setup on this on an intraday basis, but this looks actually pretty good. This ZI is ready to go, I think, today. It's been consolidating the last 3 days because it was a little bit extended. It went from 42 to 45, so now you got like a nice 3-day pullback to support here at the 9 EMA. This 50 is like a rock on this thing, too. This 50's been like a rock on this thing. This kind of zone of support. If this thing starts to pop today, if this thing starts to marinate, starts to pop, you'll see this thing break out over 55, maybe by the end of the week, and start making its push to 65. Like it's right there. It's just gotta it was just stuck yesterday. Even with the market pushing, that'd be my worry on this one. It was stuck a little bit yesterday, but if it starts to kind of creep, you're gonna see this one start to speed up, and then when it gets over 55, that's when the party starts. That's when the party starts on this bad boy. I like this name a lot. Once again, this is a new issue too, right? You've got an IPO. So like this one in VRM, like we've been watching these all week. You know, the early swing trade entries are kind of over on it, but like now you're getting these kind of secondary breakout setups that are starting. This one may need like another day on it, but like you can't ignore what it did a couple days ago. And, you know, when you see a move like that, it tells you something like that a big breakout is setting up. So you see like a couple days ago, let me go to a 5-minute chart. You know, a couple days ago, like this thing just went, like this thing opened up at like $46. And it started to speed up, get to 52, pull back to VWAP. And you really saw like this huge push into the close. When you see something like that, even if it's from like 3-4 days back, you know, it's giving you a sign, right? That there's some buyers in this thing, and this thing's about to break out. So once you start to kind of marinate, consolidate, you're going to build up some steam. You're going to build up some energy to keep this thing going. I like this one a lot. I will say this one trades a little bit. This one will trade a little bit thin sometimes. You know, you can't go like a huge size. So like for example, like on this one, you know, if I would normally do like say 1,000 shares or something, on this one I'd probably do like 300, 400 because there's a little bit of a spread on it. And you got to just kind of leave it alone. Yeah, you know, on the downside, there's a couple stocks like I know had some news out today. It's getting smoked out, but it's already down 14%. I think, you know, like if we're going to short this thing, I need to see this thing like really squeeze up 30, 31 and then start to roll over. Otherwise, it's just going to act, you know, a little bit tricky, I think. The SSR will be on it now. And you know what? INO has been like notorious for like dumping down like $5, $10 and then just ripping back. And you can't, you know, fight that kind of momentum sometimes. So what I'd rather do on this one, let it pop and then watch it start to kind of fizzle out, right? Make some lower highs and then you're good to go. Oh, yeah. You know what? Boeing's opening down 3% today, too. I'd watch this one for red to green. It had a really epic run on it. You know, for like a thicker stock, this is like obviously a major cap company. You know, they had like a 20-point move into the afternoon is, I mean, that's rare. I would think that this one maybe, if you start to like flush down on this one, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing start to rebound like maybe you know, this 186 is like a nice spot, like if it in the zone. If you start to see a rebounding pattern around 186, we can use that as a way to manage the risk on this, and we'll be able to kind of take this thing back to the high side. Good, good, good. Hey, Green, what's up, baby? Chewy, you know, Chewy's on some support, but it's on some support. It's been acting nasty the last couple of days, but it is on some support. It is oversold here. Like if you think about like, you know, 4 stochastics is about as oversold as you could get. So if you're going to be, you know, if you're going to be trying to bounce something, you probably got a shot on this one. Now this DBX is oversold too, but this one is a little bit more tricky just because like you're under all these MAs. So like it you know, what does it hold here? Or does it like turn into like something lower? This one will be a little bit more tricky just because of like where the location is on the daily. Yeah, this vert looks okay. You know, this one could take some time to actually move though. Hey George, what's up, baby? Hey Chris Kelly, how are you? Trent, what's up? ALSN. You know, this one, it may have a chance. You know, it's more mid-range. When you get a stock that's just like stuck in a range for a long time, I'd prefer to find something with a little bit more trend on it. In this market, like, you know, the trends on these stocks can last for like weeks or even longer. So I'd rather buy something that's trending and just kind of just rip and ride that thing, versus getting something mid pump. Like look at some of these trends. Like anybody ever been on a fucking Etsy website? Like 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 what are these people selling on this thing, right? So it's $30 to 103, and it's still going. And that's the thing with these trends is like they're just coming in, and they're coming in hot, and then they just keep going. And I'd rather be riding on something that's like just really pushing. Like look at these things like Shop. Like this is, that's incredible. Like where else in the world can Shopify turn into $1,000 stock? Only in America, baby. Only in America. Even though it's a Canadian company. Even though it's a Canadian company. Yeah, these are all, good. I'm at share indicators. I don't understand what you mean. Here, you can use this layout. I'll send you this layout. It's got all the indicators on it, buddy. You can't make trades off indicators, though. Guys, in general, indicators are used to confirm price action. That's it. So you have to always start with price. And you're a lawyer. You're building a case. So when you think about a trade, you're building a case. Like, why is this stock worth my time? Why is this stock worth my, money? And so where you want to go is always think like indicators just there to kind of take something and move it to the edge. So you always start with price, then you go with volume, then you go with moving averages, stochastics, Bollinger Bands, so on and so forth. Am I trading with the trend? Am I aligning on multiple time frames? Do I have an intraday setup? Am I trading in the proper market conditions? And once you start to align those things and you build out your checklist, then okay, this trade is worth your time and your money. But if you just look at a stock, you're like, okay, this indicator, that indicator, it'll just be a coin flip, right? So you really need to kind of turn the flavor on all of it. This Tesla does look nice. I would not be surprised to see this thing bust out too. Good. All right, man, let's get this thing moving. Watch these IPOs. Watch these IPOs and watch these SPACs. I would be on high alert, guys, also on one thing. With the virus kind of making a comeback and stuff, don't be surprised if the market starts having some like more volatile shakeouts where volatility just comes out of nowhere sometimes. It's going to be a news-driven market for sure. And you just got to be mindful. Hey, Alex, man, when you come into my house, baby, I'm ready for you. I'll message you on Discord. It's time to get you out of England. Get you some sun. Get you a nice tan going. You be an Englishman with a tan? You be crushing. Ooh, October is actually the best month here. In terms of weather, it's just like a nice 80 degrees. And there's nobody here. Cool. All right, let's have some fun. Going once, going twice. So, adios, muchachos. Let's go do this. Let's have some fun today.